Welcome to another week of science. So on Thursday, Miss Julia and I introduced your animal report project. And over the next few weeks, we are going to be talking a little bit more about what your project will look like and the different parts that it needs to include. So Thursday, you were asked to choose an animal, and hopefully you were able to think of some things that you already knew about that animal. But as long as you have chosen your animal, you are good to go. Okay, so like I said, over the next couple of weeks, we will be talking and introducing each step and part that you need to have in your project. So today I wanted to really just remind you how to research and to give you some ideas of websites, questions for Google, and even places where you could find some books to help you get all of the information that you need. So let's get going. So you are going to be writing a report on an animal, which you all knew. If you didn't know this because you missed the lesson on Thursday, then surprise! You are going to be writing a report on an animal. So in your report, you will need to have all of this stuff, okay? So Miss Julia actually talked about this on Thursday as well, but I'm going to go through it again with you. So you need animal characteristics, which means how big they are, what they look like, if they have special features, even what its body is covered with. You also need to know or look up the animal's habitat. So where does it live? What weather does it like? What does it use for shelter? We're also talking about the animal's diet and how it survives. So what it eats, if it has predators, maybe it's prey, maybe it's the predator. Okay. Does its body have special features to help it survive in its habitat? You will also be talking about the animal's life cycle. So how it's born, you're going to describe the stages, remembering to use sequencing words, and you're going to tell me how long it lives for, and then any other cool facts about your animal. So over the next couple of weeks, we will be introducing each part of this. So the first part is going to be characteristics, and I'll be looking a little bit more in depth about how to research that tomorrow. So today is just an introduction, just to remind you how to research and to give you some ideas. You can also start looking at some research, but really tomorrow we're going to start digging in. So how it's going to work is that I'm going to be introducing a part for you to do with some research ideas to help you. And then Miss Julia will be showing you how to write it in your report. Okay? So today I'm going to introduce something important that you'll need to have at the end of your report, which is called a bibliography. But I'm also going to show you some websites and ways that you can use to help you research, okay? So all of that information that you need to find, how will you find it? Well, because you can't ask Miss K, and you shouldn't really ask your parents, you need to look at websites and Google, and if you have books or access to books, then you can look at some books as well. Obviously, your parents can help you with the research, but this is a project that you guys should be able to do on your own. They might need to help you with typing or even with reading, but you should be able to do the research on your own and the writing on your own as well, okay? So here are a list of websites for you to use. They are all really good and they're all about different animals. So I'm going to just go through quickly and show you each of the websites before we talk about Google. So the first one is BrainPop. BrainPop is a wonderful website. You do need an account. So if you don't already have a BrainPop account, you will need to make one. Right now, accounts are free, but if you don't feel like making one, then obviously don't use this website. But I just wanted to show you it quickly. So there's lots of different topics here. It just keeps going and going and going. There is so many. So if we go back here, you can see that they have things on coral, which you could actually do. Dogs, so then you would click on the topic that you wanted and you'll see that there's videos and other stuff all in there about your animal of choice, okay? So if you wanted to do amphibians, you would click on amphibians and it would give you more information on that. That's the first website for you. The second one is kidsnationalgeographic.com, and this is what it looks like. So it talks about all of the different animal types. So if you click on your choice animal, you have to figure out if it's a fish, if it's an invertebrate, if it's an amphibian, okay, a reptile, a bird, or a mammal, and then you click on it, and then all of the different animals will come up. Okay, the next one is called Science Kids. So if I get out of this and go into Science Kids, this is what the website looks like, and it's still kind of loading up a little bit here, but it has lots of amazing things for you to do. There's experiments, fun activities on here. There's fact page. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's videos, there's games, there's pictures. Yeah, like I said, there's experiments or projects that if you wanted to do, you can make a fossil, just for something fun. And then, like I said, facts, and there's quizzes as well, so you can try those out. So there's lots of different things. There's even lessons for you if you wanted to learn more. So this is another good website here. Like I said, all of the links are in the PowerPoint. So if you download the PowerPoint, then you'll have access to all of these great resources. And then you'll just have to search for your animal within them. The next one is Kids Britannica. Let me just exit out of this. And it is right here. So this is what it looks like. And Britannica is a great encyclopedia which has lots of information, or by their habitat. So remember, their group is what type of animal they are. So they have amphibians, extinct animals even, but remember you need to do an animal that's still alive, insects and arthropods, mollusks, sea animals, mammals, fish, birds, everything. So you can literally click on that and they'll take you to your animal. You just find it, and then they'll give you lots of information about different things. There's even videos and questions for you to find out as well. And they even have a cool Did You Know section, which you could use for your cool facts if you wanted. Okay, so that is Britannica. There, you're also able to go onto the San Diego Zoo website, which is this one. And let's just get it up and loaded. Okay, so look at this guy, the cute little salamander. He's adorable. So again, you have to click and figure out which one you're studying. But then if you go in, they have videos, there's stories for you to read about the animals that live at the San Diego Zoo. Again, they have fun facts for you, so you can see some fun facts about your animals. And yeah, some cool information. There's videos that you can watch. There's activities you can do. There's games. It's an amazing website. And it's an amazing zoo if you've ever been there. Miss Kay has. It was the best zoo ever. And yeah, so you can learn about zoo life, everything. So this has so much information about all of the different animals that they have in the zoo. It even talks about how to save the animals. And like I said, there's games and activities, videos, everything that you need on this webpage, okay? So hopefully within all of these things that I'm showing you, you'll be able to get all of your information. But again, we're going to talk about each section more in detail. So the next one is called Soft Schools, and there's actually a lot of information on there as well. I've sent it through as some games before, so you can do games. There's all sorts of things on this webpage, but there's all sorts of facts as well. So you can literally go through, try and find your animal here, and then you just click on it, and it will show you all about your animal choice. Okay, like it just keeps going and 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 going. There's so much information here, and it talks about very specific families and types of animals. So if you wanted to do a specific snake, then it would have that particular snake as well, okay? So there's lots of different information and facts on this website for you. It's a good one. And let's get our list up again right here. So that was Soft Schools. Then we have Wild Kratts, which is the website. It was the praying mantis video that I showed you guys last week. This is their website, and they have something called Creaturepedia. And if you click on Creaturepedia here, so you can choose your animal based on the group it lives in. So if it's a mammal, a bird, a fish, okay, or its region, where it lives in the world, or its habitat. And there's going to be videos and information on this webpage for you as well, okay? And the last one is called Animal Fact Guide. And this one is what it looks like. So again, there are lots of different things on here. So it shows you the pictures, you can scroll through, you can find your animal that you're studying, and if you click on it, it will give you lots and lots and lots of facts, okay? So there's different things on this website as well for you, okay? So we'll go back into our PowerPoint here and talk about Google. Google is another way to help you research, and I know that we've used Google in class, but I wanted to give you some helpful tips when you are searching for things. So for example, so let's go into Google. If you add in, so if I was doing my research on polar bears, I would put in polar bears for kids. And this helps me get information that is easier to read, okay? So there's not going to be a lot of research papers for you to look through, which is good. And it will show you some videos and some things that maybe even some games. So there's videos here, okay, and different websites. So again, like the National Geographic website that I showed you, there's 10 facts about bears, Science Kids, all of the websites that I've already kind of shown you are there. Ducksters is another really good website for kids to use for research. But yeah, there's lots of stuff here. So if you put in your animal and then put in for kids, it will make it a lot easier for you to find the information that you need in an easy to read way. If I just put in polar bears, it would come up with news articles or research papers, which we don't really need that, okay? So the other thing that you can do is you can ask specific questions. And I'm going to talk more about the questions that you can ask as we talk about each section. But if you put in, so here, how big is a polar bear? It will actually show you how big a polar bear is. So this is how long it is. This is how much it weighs. Okay. And you can find more information there. So look at this. There's a picture there. There's other websites that you can look up. So the World Wildlife Foundation has some. Animal Facts for Kids Zone, that's a good one. And if you do use things like this, then you can just put up that you use Google, but I'll talk about that later. So you can just ask specific questions to find out the answers to your questions, okay? Wait, that doesn't make sense. You can ask these questions so you get the right answers for your projects. There, I think I said it better there. Okay, but like I said, we will talk more about specific questions that you can ask as we talk more about each subject, okay? So for books, if you have books about your animal at home, please use them, okay? You can go on Raz Kids and find books. I found a book on Raz Kids about polar bears. You can try ReadWorks. Let's just fix that. There we go. Now it's spelled correctly. You can do a Google search for books and see what you find, or you can do, they have read alouds as well. So if we go back to polar bears, so if I look up online books about polar bears, oops, 2 S's, that doesn't help. Let's see. So there's there's lots of different books. Some of them are going to be fiction books, which probably doesn't help us, but some of them will be more realistic. So here's a book on Raz Kids that that you can read because you all have Raz Kids, and it's called The Plight of the Polar Bear. So if I click on that, then it should bring me to the Raz Kids page. And you might need to log in, but then you can actually search for the books. It's the same thing with ReadWorks. You should be able to put in your animal topic and see what comes up, okay? So here is the story, The Plight of the Polar Bears. And if I look, it's written by, let's just see if we can make that clear, Ned Jensen. And this is important information that you're going to need to put on your next slide, okay? So if we go into it, here we go. You will need to have a bibliography for this project, okay? And a bibliography is just a list of all of the sources that you have used to help you research your animal. So you will need to, you can't just be like, I knew all of this information before. You need to actually show me that you've taken the time and researched your animal. So you need to keep a list of the websites that you use, but you only need to write down that should say the name. Oh my goodness. The name of the website, not the same of the website. And if you use a book, you need to write down the title and the author of the book. So this is what it should look like. So if I've used websites, so say I use National Geographic website, you can just put in National Geographic. Okay, this is all you need to do. You just have to type in BrainPop, San Diego Zoo, Soft Schools. That's it. This is just for me to know that you actually did some research and you use these websites. For the books, so if I use The Plight of the Polar Bears here, then I can see that it was written by Ned Jensen. So I put in the title, which is Plight of the Polar Bears, and who the author was, which is written by Ned Jensen. So that is all that I need to do for books. So just the title and the author. And then the website, just the name. You don't have to share the link with me, just the name of the website. So you can even put National Geographic for kids, okay? San Diego Zoo is fine. Soft Schools, perfect, okay? So that's all you need to do for that. Here are the pages that I'm going to be sending to you today. And this is so that you can get started on your research for your animals. We will be going through each of the sections together, so I can help you by asking Google some good questions and talk about the important things that you need to know. So you can start your research today. We will be looking at characteristics tomorrow, but feel free to have a look through, maybe even take some of it. So the size, maybe you want to just look at how big something is today, so you're going to look at size, and then maybe you find out where your animal lives, so what continent, what region of the world, what country. Okay, maybe you want to find out quickly if it's a herbivore, carnivore, or omnivore, right? But remember, if you use a website, you need to write it down, so keep a list, okay? It doesn't have to be in any order, but you should just keep a list of the websites and books that you use, okay? So there's 2 versions of this. There's a lined one and a not lined one. So I'm going to be sending you them both just so you have more options and more pages for you to use. Or you can just go through and just use a normal paper, even in your home learning journal is fine. So tomorrow, like I said, we are going to look closer at what you need for the characteristics section. So tonight, or the rest of today, if you want to go through and do some research, like I said, you are more than welcome to. but tomorrow we are looking specifically at research for the characteristics section of your report. Okay? So that's it from me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.